refused a contract worth $168,000 per year. Out of fear. Out of fear. 2 years later, revenue dropped from $35,000 to $19,000. The fear of losing made me lose anyway. What if you had inherited not just a business, but also the fear that came with it? If, since childhood, you'd heard that money was dangerous, that expanding was too risky, that wanting more was the fastest path to losing everything? And what if now you stood before opportunities that could change your life, but fear paralyzed you? She grew up watching her father build a trucking company, 3 trucks, then 5, then 8. But she also saw the crises, the trucks sitting idle, the debts, the sleepless nights, and she learned money brings fights, expansion brings risk, ambition brings loss. So when the business passed to her, she promised herself, I'll maintain it. I won't grow. I won't risk. But maintaining in the business world is the same as shrinking. And while she protected what she had for fear of losing, the competition grew. Clients migrated. Opportunities vanished. Because fear of money ultimately costs more than the lack of it itself. Cecilia was 28 when her father died. It was sudden, a heart attack while driving one of the trucks on a highway, died before reaching the hospital. And with him, certainties also left, because her father was the one who decided everything, who negotiated with clients, who chose routes, who hired drivers, who took the risks. Cecilia had worked at the trucking company since age 22, handled administration, did the books, organized documentation, but had never made the big decisions, had never been ultimately responsible. And now it was her, alone, unprepared, no time to process grief because the business didn't stop. San Jose Trucking had, at that moment, 5 trucks, 3 medium-duty and 2 tractor-trailers, all between 4 and 7 years old, reasonably well-maintained. 8 drivers, some with her father for over 10 years, knew the routes by heart. 3 steady clients, a regional supermarket chain, a beverage distributor, and a furniture manufacturer. Average monthly revenue of $79,000. Gross revenue, before deducting fuel, maintenance, salaries, taxes. Average monthly net profit of $23,500. On paper, it was a solid business, profitable, established 15 years in the market. But Cecilia looked at all that and felt panic. Panic that something would go wrong and she wouldn't know how to fix it. Panic that drivers wouldn't respect her like they respected her father. Panic that clients would lose confidence. Panic that she simply wasn't capable. But there was something deeper than circumstantial panic. There was the fear she'd carried since childhood. Cecilia was 11 when the 2015 crisis happened. She remembered like it was yesterday. Her father coming home, face gray, hands trembling. 2 trucks had broken down the same month, serious engine problems, $29,000 repair each. And in the same period, the biggest client, representing 50.
So when the business passed to her, at 28, Cecilia made a silent promise. I'll maintain what we have. I won't grow, I won't risk, I won't make the same mistakes Dad made. And for 2 years, that's exactly what she did. Maintained. 5 trucks, 3 clients, stable revenue of $79,000 a month. When a driver left, she hired another, but didn't increase the team. When a truck needed maintenance, she did it, but didn't buy new ones. When expansion opportunities appeared, she refused, politely but firmly.
And then opportunities started appearing. The first was with the beverage distributor, one of the 3 steady clients. The logistics manager called, excited. Cecilia, we're expanding operations, opening 2 new distribution centers. We'll need more transportation, about 40% more than we order now. Can you handle it? Cecilia did mental math. 40% more meant $12,500 additional monthly from this client, $150,000 a year. But it also meant needing at least 2 more trucks, maybe 3, depending on exact volume. And trucks are expensive. A used medium duty, $150,000. A tractor trailer, $233,000. Even financing, it would be a big commitment. High payments, risk of not being able to pay if something went round. And Cecilia remembered 2 trucks breaking down at the same time, the big client canceling, her father desperate. So she answered, "I don't have the infrastructure at the moment, but thank you for thinking of us." The manager insisted, "But you're trusted partners. We'd prefer to continue with you. Sure you can't structure yourselves?" "I'm sure. Sorry." 2 months later, the distributor hired another trucking company for the additional volume, and 6 months later, migrated the entire contract to that new company, which now had larger operations, more trucks, more reach. Cecilia lost $26,700 in monthly revenue.
The second opportunity came through a referral. An acquaintance of her father's, owner of a food manufacturing company, called, "Cecilia, I saw you took over the trucking company. Your father was good at this. You must be too. I'm looking for trucking for interstate routes. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Long contracts, guaranteed payment, good margins. Interested?" Interstate routes. Cecilia had never done them. Her father had always focused on regional routes within a 125-mile radius. Simpler, more controllable, fewer variables. But interstate, those were bigger contracts, yes. 25% higher margins than regional. Stability, because food manufacturing needs constant transportation. However, it also meant trucks longer on the road, greater wear, risk of unforeseen issues far from base, need for infrastructure for emergencies in other cities. And Cecilia felt fear tighten her chest. "It's too far. I don't know those routes. What if something goes wrong far from here?"
So she answered, "Thank you for the trust, but right now we're focused on regional routes." The businessman understood and hired another trucking company. Cecilia lost contracts that would have generated $37,500 additional monthly, $450,000 a year.
And so it went. Opportunity after opportunity, Cecilia refused. Always with reasonable justifications. "I don't have infrastructure. I don't know that. It's not the right time." But the truth, which she barely admitted to herself, was she was afraid. Afraid to invest and lose. Afraid to expand and not be able to manage. Afraid to risk and repeat the 2015 crisis. Afraid to try and fail. So she maintained. 5 trucks, 3 clients, stable revenue of $79,000 a month. And for a while, it seemed to work. Seemed safe, predictable, controllable. Until the world changed around her.
In 2023, a new trucking company entered the regional market. Translog Express, modern name, new fleet, cutting-edge technology. Trucks with real-time GPS tracking, automated route management system, app for clients to track deliveries, competitive prices. And they started doing what Cecilia didn't, actively pursuing her clients.
First, it was the regional supermarket, Cecilia's smallest client, representing $18,300 a month. Translog offered the same service for 15% less, and the supermarket, pressured by tight margins, migrated. Cecilia felt the blow, but thought, "I still have the other 2 clients. I'll tighten my belt and continue." Revenue dropped to $60,800 a month. 6 months later, it was the furniture manufacturer's turn, $25,800 monthly. It wasn't even about price this time. It was about technology. Translog offered real-time tracking, automated reports, integration with the factory system. Cecilia still worked with spreadsheets and phone calls. Where's the truck now? Don't know, need to call the driver. The factory thanked her for years of partnership, but migrated. Cecilia's revenue dropped to $35,000 a month.
And then the worst. The last big client, the distributor that had stayed, not the one she'd refused to expand with, started giving signals they'd leave too. The manager called. Cecilia, you're trustworthy, but I need to be honest. We're evaluating Translog. They have bigger fleet, better technology, and price is similar to yours. Unless you can modernize. Cecilia felt the ground disappear. If she lost this client, she'd be at $8,300 to $10,000 monthly revenue, insufficient to pay fixed costs, drivers, maintenance. Would have to lay off, sell trucks, maybe even close. And in panic, she offered, I can lower the price. I can do 10% discount. The manager sighed. It's not just price, Cecilia. It's infrastructure. It's technology. It's capacity to grow with us.
That night, Cecilia stayed alone in the trucking company office, looked at papers scattered on the desk, at handwritten spreadsheets, at the old phone, looked out the window at the 5 trucks parked in the yard, all over 7 years old now, all needing more frequent maintenance, all less competitive, and finally admitted the truth she'd been avoiding for 2 years. She was losing. Not because she risked, but because she didn't risk. Because while she protected what she had for fear of losing, the world kept moving. Competition invested, modernized, grew. Clients evolved their needs and sought who could meet them, and she was left behind. The 5 trucks she protected so much, now they were old, devalued, less efficient than competition's, less reliable. The business she swore to keep intact was dying, slowly, but dying. And she, who was so afraid of losing everything like her father almost lost in 2015, was losing everything anyway. Just differently. Not from risking too much, but from risking nothing. From believing protection was the same as security. From confusing caution with paralysis. From letting fear of the past dictate present decisions. And the result? The same. Slow bankruptcy. Clients leaving. Revenue plummeting. Father's dream, which she so wanted to preserve, crumbling in her hands.
Fear of money is silent, but devastating. It doesn't shout, doesn't threaten, doesn't arrive with fanfare announcing destruction. It just paralyzes, makes you refuse what you need, makes you avoid what could transform, makes you believe protecting is safer than growing. But it's not. Never was. Let's look at Cecilia's real numbers. She was afraid to invest, to expand, to risk. And that fear cost dearly, much more than any investment would have cost. When she refused the distributor's larger contract, lost $26,700 monthly revenue, $320,400 a year, with 30% profit margin, would have been $96,120 additional net profit per year. When she refused interstate routes, lost $37,500 monthly revenue, $450,000 a year. With 25% higher margin because interstate pays better, would have been about $166,700 additional net profit per year. When she didn't modernize fleet and technology, lost competitiveness that resulted in losing 2 clients, $44,100 monthly revenue, $529,200 a year. Total over 2 years, she stopped earning approximately $1,299,600 in revenue and about $525,000 in net profit. $525,000 in profit that didn't come in because she was afraid to invest maybe $333,000 in new trucks and technology. And worst, fear didn't protect her from anything. She thought, if I don't grow, I won't lose. But she lost anyway. Lost clients, lost revenue, lost market relevance. And on top of that, lost timing. Because now, to compete, she'd need to invest much more. Recovering lost ground is always more expensive and difficult than staying current. Because the business world doesn't wait for you to be ready, doesn't wait for you to lose fare, doesn't wait for you to feel secure. The world continues, competition advances, clients evolve, technologies change, and if you don't keep up, you fall behind. Cecilia thought she was protecting herself, being prudent, being responsible, but what she was doing was condemning herself to stagnation, to irrelevance, to slow bankruptcy.
because maintaining in the business world doesn't exist. That's a comfortable but fatal illusion. You grow or shrink, advance or retreat, evolve or become obsolete. There's no middle ground. There's no maintaining. The market doesn't stand still waiting for you to decide if you want to participate. It continues. And if you're not growing along, you are, by definition, falling behind. And you know where this fear comes from? It wasn't born with Cecilia. It was learned. Comes from stories she heard as a child, from crises she witnessed, from trauma she witnessed and internalized. Comes from a childhood where expansion meant existential risk, where growth meant almost losing everything, where ambition almost destroyed the family. And so she grew up with a deeply rooted belief: if I don't risk, I won't lose. Sounds logical, right? Seems prudent. Seems like the correct lesson to take from that experience. But it was wrong. Completely wrong. Because not risking is also losing. You just lose differently. Lose gradually, silently, without the drama of an acute crisis, but with the final result equally devastating. Lose opportunities that never return. Lose relevance you never recover.
Lose the business you tried to protect while protecting it. It's like trying to preserve a plant by not watering it, afraid too much water will kill it. In the end, it dies anyway, from thirst, not drowning, but it dies. Did Cecilia's father risk too much in 2015? Maybe, it's possible. Grew fast without sufficient structure? Could be. Didn't have adequate emergency reserve? Probably. But you know what he also did? Survived, overcame, learned, and built a business that sustained the family for 15 years. Father risked, went through crisis, but didn't die. The business didn't die. Cecilia didn't risk anything, avoided every crisis, and still the business was dying. Because the risk she tried to avoid wasn't the only existing risk. There's the risk of trying and failing, but there's also the risk of not trying and withering. And this second risk, which seems safer because it's gradual, silent, not scary, ends up being deadlier. Because when you try and fail, at least you know where you went wrong, can correct, can start over. But when you don't try and gradually lose, you don't know when it became irreversible, when it passed the point of no return, when it became too late. And there was another invisible cost in this story. The emotional cost, psychological, existential. Cecilia lived 2 years in constant tension. Not the tension of someone who's risking and building. That tension has hope mixed in, has positive adrenaline. But the tension of someone who's just surviving, just holding on, just hoping nothing goes wrong, because if it does, it's over. She woke every day with fear. Fear a client would leave. Fear a truck would break down. Fear money wouldn't be enough. Lived in just endure one more month mode. Never planning growth, never dreaming of better future, just enduring. And that corrodes, wears down, kills the soul gradually. Because being an entrepreneur like this, without boldness, without vision, without hope of growth, is living in a prison you built yourself. You have the business, but the business doesn't give you joy, only gives you anxiety. And for what? Why live like this? So here's the truth Cecilia needed to hear, that maybe you need to hear too. The biggest risk isn't trying and failing. It's not trying and spending your whole life wondering, what if I had tried? It's reaching 50, 60 years old, looking back and realizing I had opportunities, I had conditions, I had potential, but I let fear decide for me. And now it's too late. Cecilia took time, a long time, more time than she should have, almost too much time. But sometimes you need to get close to the bottom to finally wake up. And that's what happened. When the last big client threatened to leave, when revenue was at $35,000 and dropping, when she saw that in 3 months she'd have to start laying off drivers, something broke inside her. It wasn't desperation this time. It was clarity. Clarity that she had only 2 options. Close the business now with some dignity, selling trucks for some value, or risk everything in one last attempt to turn things around. And for the first time in 2 years, Cecilia did something she never imagined. She chose to risk. Went to a bank, presented the trucking company's history, the assets she had, and asked for a business loan. $350,000, interest of 1.5% per month, 48-month term, payment of $11,250. The bank manager analyzed. It's a significant amount. Are you sure? Cecilia took a deep breath. I am, because if I don't do this, I'll lose the business anyway. At least this way, I have a chance. And she got the loan. With the $350,000, she did what she should have done 2 years earlier. Bought 3 new trucks, 2 medium-duty and 1 tractor-trailer, 2022, 2023 models, with modern technology, $483,000 total, down payment of $192,000, rest financed over 60 months. Implemented GPS tracking system in all trucks, including old ones, $15,000. Hired a tech company to develop basic fleet management system and app for clients to track deliveries, $37,500. Hired 4 new drivers, all with interstate route experience, to be prepared when opportunities appeared. Invested in training for entire team on new system, customer service, modernized procedures, $10,000. Used remaining $95,500 for working capital, marketing, created a website, professional social media profiles, and emergency reserve for the first months. And then, with structure in place, she did something she'd also never done. Went after clients. Called everyone she'd lost, presented new structure, showed new trucks, demonstrated tracking system. 2 didn't return, already had contracts with competition. But the supermarket returned. Cecilia, you really changed. I like it. Let's try again. $18,300 monthly revenue back. Called the businessman with interstate routes, the one she'd refused 2 years before. I know you must have already closed with another trucking company, but now I have infrastructure, new trucks, tracking system, long-distance experience. If an opportunity comes up. The businessman laughed. Funny you called today. The trucking company I hired is giving me problems. When can you start? And closed contract. $48,300 monthly. Went to the distributor that had stayed, the last big client threatening to leave. Presented everything, new fleet, technology, capacity to scale. The manager was impressed. Cecilia, this is what I needed to see. I'm not leaving. And more. I have that expansion I offered 2 years ago. Still interested? Interested? Of course. Another $39,200 monthly. And you know what happened? In 6 months, Cecilia's revenue went from $35,000 to $105,800 a month. Net profit, after paying all installments, all costs, everything, went from $15,000 to $35,800 monthly. In 1 year, she had paid $150,000 of the principal loan and still had profit to reinvest, to keep growing, to finally build that emergency reserve she never had. Cecilia discovered something fundamental. Risking isn't throwing everything up without thinking. It's not being irresponsible. It's not ignoring data. It's not acting on impulse. Risking is calculating, is planning, is growing with strategy, is understanding that all growth involves uncertainty, but that uncertainty isn't the same as recklessness, is recognizing that paralysis is a choice, and that maintaining is an illusion, and that sometimes the safest path is the one that seems scariest at the beginning. She also discovered that fear of money didn't protect her from anything, didn't protect from losing clients, didn't protect from becoming obsolete, didn't protect from bankruptcy, only prevented her from living fully, from building, from realizing the potential the business had. Fear wasn't protection, it was prison. And the courage to risk, calculated, planned, strategic courage, was what truly saved her. Today, 3 years after that decision, San Jose Trucking has 11 trucks in fleet, all modern, all equipped with technology, 18 drivers, and Cecilia is respected by all, not for being the founder's daughter, but for having saved the business when it was sinking. 9 active clients, and a strict policy of never letting a single client represent more than 25% of revenue. average monthly revenue of $154,200, net monthly profit of $56,700. And Cecilia sleeps peacefully, not because she has no worries, every entrepreneur has them, but because she knows she has structure, has strategy, has capacity to face problems when they appear, and mainly because she's no longer paralyzed by fear.
If this story touched you, leave your like. And if you want more reflections like this, subscribe to the channel. Sometimes what we most need to hear is, you don't need to fear money. You need to respect it, understand it, and use it to grow, not to hide. Money isn't the enemy, fear is. And that fear, the one that paralyzes you, that makes you refuse opportunities, that keeps you small when you could be great, that fear costs more than any investment could cost. Because the biggest risk isn't trying and failing, it's not trying and spending your whole life wondering, what if I had tried? It's looking back and seeing not courageous failures, but opportunities wasted out of fear.
Share with another person who also fears growing, with that friend who inherited a business but is just surviving, not thriving, with that woman who has opportunities in front but fear won't let her advance, with that entrepreneur who's maintaining when she should be expanding. Maybe what you heard here today is the courage she needs to finally take the step, to understand that on the other side of fear isn't the abyss, it's freedom. Freedom to build, to grow, to achieve, and to finally live without the weight of a fear that never protected her from anything.